Welcome to RelapsePreventionPlan.net's free online rehab lessons. We believe that it's never too late to learn to prevent relapse. Welcome to this presentation on food and relapse prevention. In this presentation, you will learn how your addiction impacted your food choices and eating habits. You'll learn how many calories are in a gram of fat, a gram of protein, and a gram of carbohydrate. And you'll learn what 2 actions you can take to improve your diet. Take out a piece of paper and a pen or pencil and take a few minutes to answer these questions right now. What role has food played in your life? How did addiction change your eating habits, such as what you ate, the amount, and the frequency? What role does food play when you are feeling stressed? Do you eat lots or a little? Do you eat carbs or sweets? And what comes to mind when you hear the word diet or nutrition? Favorite foods, celebrations, gaining weight or losing weight, boring health classes at school? And what meaning does food have for you, such as cooking, giving, taking, sharing, or worry? Pause the presentation right now while you finish answering these questions. Food is fuel and provides the building blocks for your body. Using the nutrients in the food we eat, our body creates energy, builds new cells, repairs old or injured cells, produces enzymes and proteins to regulate the production of energy and cell growth, and repairs the cell damage from drugs and alcohol. Food is an important part of a balanced diet. But negative moods motivate us to eat. Tense or anxious moods cue us to eat so we have extra energy to overcome adversity. Stress acts as a cue for eating. And depression is frequently linked with eating too much or too little. Weight loss dieting causes stress and negative moods which cue us to eat. And this is a vicious cycle. Substance abuse and nutrition. Drug and alcohol abuse results in physical damage to the body, which reduces absorption of nutrients from food, unbalanced lifestyle, which results in irregular timing of meals and eating too much or too little, and food choices that do not provide the energy and substances your body needs for you to function well, think clearly, and look good. Eating healthy means every day you eat 3 meals and 2 healthy snacks at regular times. Eat something from each of the food groups. Control portion size and avoid having seconds. Choose foods that contain the essential vitamins and minerals. And choose fresh foods over packaged or fast foods. And avoid foods that are high in fats, salt, sugar, or caffeine. Healthy eating improves physical and emotional health. Healthy eating can help you to improve your immune system and bodily functions, increase your energy, improve your mood, regulate your body weight, recover from the physical damage of addiction, and maintain an active lifestyle. Healthy eating prevents disease. It's been proven to reduce the risk of certain diseases, including heart disease, osteoporosis, diabetes, and various cancers. But where does our energy come from? Carbohydrates, 45 to 65%, fats, 20 to 35%, and proteins, 10 to 35%. But people are eating a lot of fat. According to a recent survey, Americans eat more fat per person than any other nation in the world. about 110 million Americans between 18 and 79 years old are overweight. If these people ate 600 less calories daily, the total reduced intake would be 5.7 trillion calories, or the energy equivalent to the yearly residential electricity use of Boston, Chicago, San Francisco, and Washington, D.C., or 1.3 billion gallons of gasoline, the fuel for about 1 million cars for a year. We don't want to demonize fat, but that's too much fat. Fats contain a lot of calories. 1 gram of carbohydrate is 4 calories. 1 gram of protein is 4 calories. But 1 gram of fat has a whopping 9 calories in it. Memorize these calorie equivalents so you can calculate calories from the fat in foods and make lower fat choices and control your weight. So here's an example. You can take out a pencil and a piece of paper and follow along. The label on a potato chip bag says that each 36 potato chips contain 280 calories, 18 grams of fat, and 26 grams of carbohydrate. In each 36 potato chips, are there more calories from fat or from carbohydrates? Pause the presentation to take a few minutes to calculate and write your answer. The answer is 26 grams of carbohydrates at 4 calories per gram is 26 times 4, which is 104 calories. 18 grams of fat at 9 calories per gram is 18 times 9, which is 162 calories. So 162 minus 104 is 58, and that means 58 more calories from fat per serving than from carbohydrates, or 55% more calories from fat than from carbohydrates. These chips are not a low-fat alternative. So fat matters, but you still have to consider total calories. For example, 1 fig cookie, the regular calorie version, and the reduced fat version is very close in calories. And as you look down, 3 chocolate chip cookies are regular 160 versus reduced fat 150. The difference is not great for most of these options. So tips for a balanced diet are to eat more fish, skinless poultry, lean meats, low-fat or non-fat dairy products, and definitely a lot more fruits and vegetables. Eat fewer egg yolks, fried foods, pastries, spreads, dressings, and alcoholic drinks, or non-alcoholic drinks, as it were. Eat smaller portions, no larger than the back of your hand for each food group. So what to do? Exercise daily at regular times. Eat meals at regular times. Save foods high in fats for the evening meal when the desire is strongest for most of us. If eating an early evening meal, reduce carbohydrates and maximize protein to prevent hunger later. If eating very late, eat a small, light meal and reduce protein to avoid interference with sleep. Eat more lower-calorie foods than high-calorie foods. Eat 3/4 of the amount of food you eat now if weight loss is your goal. And to reduce spontaneous selection of high-calorie foods, plan healthy food choices before you sit down to eat. When people don't eat calories, they eat volume. Most of us rely on the volume of food to tell us we're full. We usually eat the same visible amount of food we're used to eating. And studies show that if a person thinks he ate less than the typical amount, he'll think he's hungry. But if he thinks he ate more, he'll think he's full. Volume trumps calories. We eat the volume we want, not the calories we want. But when are we full? Scientists don't know what makes us feel full, but it's likely a combination of how much we chew, taste, swallow, and think about food, and how long we have been eating. The faster we eat, the more we eat, because it takes up to 20 minutes for our brain and body to signal we are full. We decide how much to eat before we put food into our mouths. We eyeball how much we want, dish it up, and then eat mindlessly until it's gone. We rely on the visual cue, the empty ice cream bowl or empty plate, to tell us that we're through. The clean plate gives us a set target to aim for, so we don't have to constantly ask ourselves, am I full yet? Am I full yet? Am I full yet? On average, normal weight people think they've eaten about 20% less than they actually did. Obese people typically underestimate how much they eat by 30 to 40%, or they think they eat about half as much as they actually do. So we are not good at estimating. When people estimate almost anything, weight, height, brightness, loudness, sweetness, etc., we consistently underestimate as things get larger. We're fairly accurate at estimating weight of a 2-pound rock, but we grossly underestimate the weight of an 80-pound rock. The smaller the meal, the more accurate people are at estimating its calorie level. The larger the meal, the less accurate. The more people eat, the less accurate they are, whether they are skinny or obese. It's meal size that determines how accurate we are at estimating the calories we've eaten. Oh boy, we are not good at estimating, so help your eyes know when you've eaten enough. Studies suggest that we eat about 20% more or less without being aware of it. People eat 20 to 25% more on average from larger packages. The size of the package cues us to think it's typical and normal to serve more than if the package is smaller. We pour more from larger packages for every food product. And 72% of our calories are eaten from bowls, plates, and glasses. Our brain overfocuses on the height of objects at the expense of their width. If you use a tall, skinny glass, you will drink less. People who are given short, wide glasses pour an average of 19% more juice, soft drink, or alcohol than those given a tall, thin glass. And even trained bartenders who were in the study. Replace short, wide glasses with tall, skinny ones, because it matters if you are pouring more calories of a drink than you intended to, or more alcohol. But let's skip the alcohol. 72% of our calories are eaten from bowls, plates, and glasses. Even if you intend to limit your portion size, a larger plate, bowl, or spoon will influence you to serve yourself more, and we eat 92% of what we serve ourselves. People given large bowls tend to serve themselves 31% more ice cream. As the size of our dishes increase, so does the amount we put on them. And as the size of the plate increases, we tend to underestimate the number of calories per serving. We serve ourselves more because large bowls and plates make the food portion look small. And we are just not good at estimating, so help your eyes know when you've eaten enough. Choose tall, thin glasses, 8-inch instead of 12-inch plates, and smaller bowls and spoons. Put everything that you plan to eat on your plate, and don't take smaller servings and go back for seconds. Leave the chicken bones on your plate until you are done eating. Don't eat directly from a package or bowl. Put what you intend to eat in a small bowl and put the rest back in the kitchen. Leave out the empty pop tins and candy bar wrappers so you know how much you are eating. Variety means we eat more. Increasing the variety of foods or flavors of the same food increases how much we eat. Our taste buds get numbered as we continue eating the same thing, so we become satiated or full. If we switch foods during dessert, for example, one piece of cake and then a piece of pie, our taste buds are back to a higher level of sensation and we continue eating. So if you're trying to avoid overeating, avoid buffets and avoid making meals with 4 or 5 different foods. The more we think about food, the more we eat it, so manage cues. Out of sight means out of mind. Simply thinking of food can make you hungry. And the more we like a food, the faster we chew and swallow. And the more you think of a food, the more of it you will eat. So manage cues to eat. Make healthy foods easy to see and less healthy foods harder to see, that is in the cupboard downstairs. Avoid driving by stores and places that sell the foods you want to stop eating. Avoid walking through the kitchen between meals to reduce cues for impulsive snacking. Purchase foods that take effort to prepare or use. And don't store fast foods and tempting foods at home or in your workplace. Now change the way you eat. Decide how much you are going to eat before the meal, not during the meal. Try to be the last person to start eating. Pace yourself with the slowest eater at the table. Always leave some food on your plate as if you're still eating so others will not offer seconds. And when eating with others, the amount they eat subtly influences how much you eat. So choose who you eat with to advance your eating goals. Overweight people in a family can put pressure on a person trying to lose weight. People who watch a lot of TV are more likely to be overweight. They exercise less, they eat more, and they snack more even when they are not physically hungry. As TV viewing goes up, weight goes up because TV cues you to eat, leads you to not pay attention to how much you eat, and increases time spent eating even when not hungry. So, what are you hungry for? Food or a hug? Physical hunger builds gradually. It's noticed with physical signs like growling stomach. It occurs several hours after a meal. It goes away after eating, and eating leads to a sense of satisfaction. Emotional hunger develops suddenly. It includes thoughts of specific foods like ice cream. It's unrelated to time. It persists despite sense of fullness from eating. And eating leads to guilt or shame. The amount of food we eat is influenced by our moods, whether happy, sad, or angry, depression or anxiety, alcohol and drug use, low blood sugar levels, attractiveness of meals, and the return of appetite after you quit using. Negative moods lead us to eat. Negative moods and low energy make us feel uncomfortable, and eating is the easiest way to feel better. Food tastes good. Simple sugars and fats raise the blood sugar quickly, and energy is the result, and we feel better fast. Drugs and alcohol can be used to feel better, and food can be used to feel better. Eating or using doesn't solve the underlying problem. Substance substitution. A common pitfall during initial abstinence from drugs and alcohol is substance substitution. Substance substitution is replacing drugs or alcohol with nicotine, caffeine, or sugar. Using food as a stimulant can result in weight gain, irregular moods, and the temptation to return to using. Blood sugar levels. Studies indicate relapse is more likely to occur when the blood sugar levels fluctuate due to the irregular timing of meals and snacks high in sugar and fats. Decreased sugar intake in people who were addicted to alcohol resulted in decreased cravings and longer periods of abstinence. To decrease the risk of relapse, reduce fluctuations in your blood sugar levels by keeping your sugar intake low and having regular meal times. The return of appetite after quitting. After quitting, the appetite usually returns, which can cause a tendency to overeat and lead to increased body weight. Be careful to make healthy food choices for your meals and snacks. Avoid high-calorie foods with low nutrition value. Use physical activity instead of snacks when feeling cravings, tense, or restless. Make your goal better eating. Our body and mind fight against diets that deprive us while eating better. Can be started today. Trim 100 to 200 calories a day off your eating and you can lose 1 to 2 pounds a month permanently. Focus on 3 small changes at a time that can become helpful habits, like no second helpings. It takes about 28 days to break an old eating habit and replace it with a good one. Put a checklist of your 3 changes on your fridge to remind yourself and review the list each evening before dinner. Creating new habits replaces old habits and keeps you slowly losing weight for good. Good news! The doctor told me I only have to exercise on the days that I eat. Here are the references for this presentation. Take out a pen and paper and write any down that you'd like to look up further. In today's presentation, you've learned how addiction impacted your food choices and eating habits. You learned how many calories are in a gram of fat, a gram of protein, and a gram of carbohydrate. And you learned 2 actions you could take to improve your diet. Don't forget to complete Chapter 3 in our free downloadable workbook, Make Your Last Relapse the Last, available at relapsepreventionplan.net. Remember, this video is not a substitute for proper medical care and consultation with your physician or qualified healthcare professional. Don't ignore professional advice or delay seeking treatment based on the information in this video or on this YouTube channel. Thank you for joining us. You can do it. We believe in you. Don't give up.